Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar. Welcome back after the Easter break. Even if we're at home, we've had a little Easter break.
Yeah, it's been nice. Been eating lots of good food.
Yeah, what did you eat, Jenna? Easter.
Right. So I had this Neapolitan dish called gâteau, which sounds very French, right?
Yeah.
Gâteau. And
Yeah, imagine the cake.
Right. It's this oven-baked savory dish with cheese, ham, egg, milk, and breadcrumbs on top. It's really good.
Sounds really good. Nice.
And salmon, baked salmon with lemon. And I made a banana bread with chocolate chips and walnuts.
Wow, sounds delicious. Really nice. Yeah.
What about you?
I had gnocchi because we've been making handmade gnocchi for the past couple of weeks. So we had some left over with ragu, which is really nice. My neighbor, Patrizia, bought us some, I can't remember the name, passatiella.
Okay.
I think is a Neapolitan cake. I can't remember exactly the name, something like that.
Pastiera.
Yes, pastiera.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that. Oh, it's one of my favorite cakes.
So that was really nice. Yeah, and just lots of chocolate and cakes in general.
Sounds
Perfect.
really good.
Welcome, guys. We have Sonia. Welcome, Sonia.
Welcome.
If you're joining us, please tell us which city would you like to spend a week in and why?
Yes. So Sonia says, hello, I'm Sonia from Bergamo. I would like to go to Paris because, in my opinion, it's the most romantic city I know. I have to agree. Paris is beautiful, very romantic.
Yeah, really beautiful city. Have you been, Jenna, to Paris?
Yeah, I lived in Paris for 5 months because I studied French. So I did part of my Erasmus there.
So you would recommend it to us?
It's really expensive, but yeah, for a short period of time, definitely.
Okay, for a week, a holiday.
A week.
Excellent. Jenna, what about you? Which city would you like to spend a week in and why?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Somewhere where, this is a place that I would like to visit. I'd like to visit Costa Rica.
Wow.
So, yeah. So
why?
I haven't decided which city in Costa Rica because of the wildlife. It has like one of the most diverse wildlife in the world. So that'd be something interesting.
Nice.
To explore.
Yeah. Something really different. I think for me, I'd really like to visit Cagliari, so in Sardinia. I've seen some videos, some pictures of Cagliari. It seems really beautiful. I'd really like to go there. They also have an Italian school, so that would be quite nice to study by the sea.
I have actually thought about doing that. Every year I say, okay, I've got to save up enough money to attend an Italian school and just focus on that. For a week or two would be nice.
It's a really good experience. I did the same thing in Rome, which was nice. But somewhere by the sea would be good too.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you're joining us, please tell us which city you would like to spend a week in and why. In the meantime, let's move on. I know we definitely have Sonia. Let's see if there's anyone else that joins us. Okay. Jenna, do you want to read for us?
Yeah. So in this focus activity, deciding what to do in a city, your teacher's hometown, superlatives, and making recommendations. So giving advice as to where to go, what to see, what to do in a city.
Perfect. So we have recommend, advise, suggest. These are all kind of similar words. Oh, we have more people. Lots of people. Okay, Valeria, hi. Hi, teachers. I'm Valeria from Naples. I like to visit the south of Sicily.
Hmm.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a beautiful place, I think.
Yeah. Andrea says, hello, I'm Andrea from Bologna. I would like to spend a week in Rome because I want carbonara. Fair enough.
I like carbonara. Good food.
Mm-hmm.
And Valeria says, because I love the good weather too for Sicily.
Yeah. We went in December
Mm.
to Sicily, and the weather was good considering that it was winter time.
Yeah, we went to Palermo and it was very warm. I'm very surprised. Excellent. So welcome guys, Valeria, Sonia, Andrea. Anyone else who is joining us, please do tell us a city you would like to spend a week in. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, let's start with this one. Okay. So here we have some questions about London. Have you been to London? When is the best time to go to London? What are the most famous landmarks in London? And what would you most like to see in London?
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
even if you have never visited London, use your imagination for number two. What do you think would be the best time and why?
Yeah, what do you imagine about London? So obviously London is the capital city of the UK.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Okay.
good. Masha says no, but I wish.
Good. Maybe after all this is finished,
You can,
take a
yeah.
trip to London. What do you imagine? Do you know any famous places? What do you think London is like? It's a good time to go to London.
Have you been to London?
I have. I've been to London a few times. I think it's very big, obviously. It's a big city like Rome.
Yeah,
So it's
definitely.
it's difficult to see everything in a short time. So I think it's good to go back and maybe do different types of trips.
Yeah.
So maybe one
One-
time go to the museums, something like that.
Yeah, spread it out if you can.
Yeah, what about
And
you?
yeah, I've been maybe 3 or 4 times. Yeah. The first time, well, the first time I went, I was a baby. So
Okay.
don't
So you
remember
don't
that first
remember so
time.
much.
The second time when I was like 11, 12, with my mum and some students from her school, they did a Bahamas, Scotland exchange, and at one point they went to England.
Nice.
And the other few times I went to visit a friend who studies in London. And yeah, the last time was for a similar reason to visit another
To
friend.
visit people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good to go and visit people in London because they know all the places to go. They know maybe
Yeah,
the spots that are not so touristy.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to
Andrea
know.
is saying, no, I haven't, but I wish to. Good.
Mm. Sonia says, I've been to London. Oh, okay. Careful. Next October is in the future. The weather was okay. So I went to London, past simple, last October is maybe what you want to say. The weather was fine, a little bit cloudy, but sunny.
Good. Yeah. So just be careful. Last October and cloudy. Yeah, I think London is famous for cloudy weather.
Mm.
Yeah, perfect on your left. Good. So, guys, can you tell us about question number 2? What is the best time to go to London? The best season, the best time of year?
Yeah. When do you think is the best time?
I think definitely London, because it's always it's not going to be very hot. It's always a good temperature. I think you can visit any time of year. Because in the winter it's cold, but you can see a lot of the decorations. There are a lot of activities to do, markets. In the summer, you can go to the park, you can walk around the city. So yeah, I think it's one of those cities that the weather is always okay. So it's never great, but it's always okay. So yeah, you can visit throughout the year, I think. What about you?
Yeah, maybe I haven't been enough times to make a decision about that, but I imagine maybe I would prefer to go not in the winter time because it's much colder then. Maybe spring or summer time. I prefer to go.
Yeah, a little bit warmer weather.
Yeah.
Masha, I agree. Okay, good. Yeah, I think it depends on your preferences too. If you like the cooler weather, you could go in the winter. If you prefer warmer weather, in the summer.
I can go in the summer. Yeah.
But there's always lots of things to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you have a favorite place to visit in London? Or
very quickly,
sorry?
let's have a look at Sonia.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the best time to visit London is spring or summer. Apologies.
Okay, great. Why, Sonia? Why is spring or summer the best time?
So you agree with Jenna, but why?
When there's a good concert. Okay, yeah. Some people enjoy traveling to other cities or countries because there's a concert that they're really interested in there as well.
Definitely. It doesn't necessarily have to be for a place. It could be for an event. I think one of my favorite places is the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh.
This is the concert hall in London. And especially in the summer, they have a series of concerts, which are really interesting. Film music, classical music, modern music. So yeah, the Royal Albert Hall is a great place to watch a concert. What about you, Jenna? Do you have a favorite place in London?
I really liked the Modern Art Museum.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Nice. Why?
Because I like art. I like sort of abstract art, and there were a lot of examples of that there. Lots of interesting examples. Kandinsky, many other famous artists. Paintings.
Yeah, really nice. I've not been, but I would like to go the next time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Misha, Big Ben is a famous landmark, the big clock. Yeah, so a landmark is a famous place, as we said. Can anyone think of any more landmarks? Yeah, perfect, Masha, for number 3. What's interesting is Big Ben is not actually the name of the clock. Apparently, it's the name of the bell inside the clock. I read the other day.
Buckingham Palace.
You can watch the changing of the guards when the Queen's soldiers march down. The Tower of London.
Yeah. Tower Bridge.
Excellent. Can you think of any more, Jenna? Any more famous places?
Besides the museum, the bridge they've mentioned. What about parks?
Yeah, some very famous park, Hyde Park, for example. What about the name of the big wheel? In London, there's a big wheel. Do you guys know the name? You can sit inside, you can go up and see city.
Camden Town, yeah. That's quite famous. Good.
Yeah, Notting Hill also. The carnival, maybe.
The London Eye, good.
Yeah,
Andrea?
this is the wheel. Good. Okay. I guess also Soho is a district of London that's quite popular.
Sonia says the most famous landmarks are Westminster and the British Gallery and the Big Ben too. Good.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, really famous. Maybe also St. Paul's Cathedral. Quite popular. Okay, guys, do you want to answer number 4? What would you most like to see in London? So maybe if you've been before, maybe something that you didn't see last time.
Yeah. What would you most like to see, or what would you most like to do? You could also answer.
Yeah, what about you, Jenna? Is there anything you'd like to see or to do?
Now that you've talked about the hall, that would be quite interesting to catch a concert there.
Yeah, really good. I think the same for me. Now that you've talked about the museum, it would be quite interesting to go and see.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to see Big Ben. I really want to try a tea in London. Yeah, afternoon tea.
With scones and jam.
Nice, yeah, an afternoon tea. Just be careful when we have Big Ben. We don't need A because it's the name of the monument.
Yeah.
Just Big Ben.
Patrizio says, hi, I'm Patrizio. Could be the variety of people. I'm not sure what you mean here, Patrizio. For number 3, varieties people. Oh, do you know?
Maybe diverse. I guess it's not really a place, but maybe London is very famous for diverse people. Patrizio, if you could tell us, is that what you mean? Diverse or multicultural?
Yeah, remember, a landmark is a sort of famous monument or building of some significance to the city.
Yeah, so it's usually concrete is a building. I'd like to see Soho. Nice, Andrea. Why? Why Soho? Yeah, so I guess London is very multicultural.
Definitely, yeah.
A few years ago, I went to the Notting Hill Carnival, which was amazing. It was very wet. It was rainy, but it was a really good atmosphere.
Yeah. Who was playing at the carnival?
We didn't really go to the concert at the end. We just followed the procession down. So there were lots of community groups, lots of floats, lots of people in costume. So it was nice.
Oh. I feel like I haven't been to enough concerts in my life. Definitely haven't.
I don't go to many, but that was one very interesting.
Yeah. Oh, Harrods, Sonia's mentioned.
Yeah, Harrods, a famous department store.
I'd like to go to Harrods for shopping and tasting food. Yeah, good place to to try free samples of food.
Yeah. Okay, because there are theatres, restaurants, it must be a particular place. I don't know if we'd say particular in English. I think we might say unique.
Yeah, I might say particular though. It must be a particular place. It's quite particular, quite different.
Different, yeah. So it's not wrong to say particular, but personally, I would maybe say unique or different. Yeah, excellent. Okay, let's move on to looking at some examples of places.
Yeah, in London.
So obviously these are some very famous places. Jenna, do you want to read the first one for us?
Sure. What shall we do? Okay, Buckingham Palace. So here you've got the Queen's residence. This is where the Queen lives. A tour of the house and gardens, one of the places, and watch the changing of the guard.
Excellent. Then we have the London Eye, a huge Ferris wheel with views over London. And a Ferris wheel is just this type of wheel where you can sit and you go up and around.
Yeah. Houses of Parliament, where the old and current means who is there now, Parliament sits. There's a tour and Big Ben.
And then we have the Tower of London, an old royal palace and prison, the crown jewels, so very expensive jewelry owned by the Queen, and dungeons. So a dungeon is a prison under the earth, so below the castle or below the palace in this situation.
There's Westminster Abbey, which has a famous church, a museum, a guided tour, site of the royal weddings and coronations, where people are crowned.
Yeah, where they become king or queen. And we have the Olympic Stadium, built for the 2012 Olympic Games. So a very big stadium. Okay, so guys, out of these 6 places, which would you most like to visit? Which of these places would you most like to visit? Jenna, what about you?
Let's see. London. I think probably one of the first, or maybe on my last day, I would go up the London Eye. I think that would be a nice end to a trip to London.
Yeah, good point. To see all the views, to take some pictures.
Yeah.
What
about you?
For me, Buckingham Palace, I think. I've seen the palace from outside, but I've never had a tour. I've never really seen the changing of the guards. So maybe spending a little bit more time in Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
And actually going inside when it's possible.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, all of these places are quite interesting to visit.
Yeah, perfect. Sonia, why don't we go to the London Eye? Good. It's a good suggestion.
Yeah,
good suggestion phrase. Sonia, why? Why do you want to go to the London Eye? I've been to the Olympic Stadium. It's very nice. It's a big park, so you can go jogging, you can walk around. But we went on quite a cloudy day. So it probably wasn't the best experience. So maybe it would be nice to go back.
Yeah.
If the weather is warmer.
Yeah, my sister's actually been to watch a game, but I didn't go because I'm not a big football fan.
So she watched a game at the Olympic Stadium.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some of our friends.
Okay.
How's the Parliament? And the Tower of London.
Excellent. Why? Why these two, Masha? Jenna, is there anywhere that you're not interested in?
I'm probably the least interested in the Olympic Stadium. I'm not a huge sports fan, so yeah, I probably would find myself less fascinated by it.
Yeah. For me, I think it's the Tower of London. I get quite scared quite easily. So going down into the dungeons, into a dark place doesn't really appeal to me.
Right. Like when we went to see the catacombs.
Yeah. In Sicily, we went to see the catacombs.
But you managed. You were
I managed. It was okay, but it wasn't my favorite part of the trip. Sonia, because I'll see all the city. Yeah, perfect.
We'd say because I can see the whole or the entire city.
Yeah, perfect. This again is a little bit more natural in English. The whole, the entire city.
Andrea says Buckingham Palace for watching the changing of the guard, and the London Eye for the views over London. Good, Andrea.
Yeah. I think everyone is interested in the London Eye right now.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
Okay.
Maybe let's move on. Okay. So let's talk about the most and the least. So obviously the most is something on the top of my list. Is my priority, something I really want to see. Jenna, what about the least?
The least would be at the bottom of your list. So it's not a priority. It's maybe not something you have interest in at all. Yeah.
Yeah, so perfect. So I could say, for example, the city I'd most like to see is Bangkok.
Right, good. The place I'd most like to visit is Costa Rica.
Yes, perfect. um, okay, Sonia, it's very difficult to choose one place. Yeah, of course. I would like to see everything.
Everything.
Good. Just be careful. Every plus singular.
Yeah. And remember, when you answer these questions, to say why, give your reason why.
Yeah, so everything is interesting. The city I'd most like to see is Dubai. Okay. Again, Masha, why?
Yeah, give us your reasons.
Be careful, we don't need to repeat it because we already have the subject. So the city I'd most like to see is Bangkok.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'd least like to see is Venice. It's not true, but for example. So you guys, can you make some sentences using these phrases?
Sonia says the city I'd most like to visit is Istanbul. Why, Sonia, are you interested in Istanbul?
Yeah. Jenna, what about a negative one? I'd least like to. Can you create a sentence with I'd least like to?
That's a good question. The thing I'd least like to do. Okay, let's say the thing I'd least like to do on a trip to another city is go shopping. Let's say that's the least interesting. Or go clothes shopping.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we can buy clothes everywhere, unless it's something unique. Maybe it's better to see landmarks, visit the city.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Be
Masha,
careful.
Masha says, okay, because Dubai is very modern.
Yeah, perfect. So here we do need the is. Yeah.
Or is a very modern.
It's a very modern city. Good. For me, maybe the thing I'd least like to do in a city is walk a lot. Sometimes when you go to a city, it's so beautiful, like Rome, you walk so much, and at the end of the trip, you're really tired.
Yeah, that's true. I do quite like walking, though, I have to say. Given all the eating I will probably be doing on my holiday,
Yeah, it balances.
Probably needed.
Balances out.
Yeah, I exercise to eat.
Yeah. Okay, Masha. Okay, so just remember in English, is always necessary. In Italian, you can remove the subject because the verb shows you the subject. But in English, we always need this auxiliary is. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
The thing I least like to do is walk a lot.
Is there a restaurant that you'd most like to eat in or least like to eat in? Maybe in Bologna or somewhere else that you've heard of?
Interesting. I would most like to eat in a restaurant called the Portici here in Bologna. I've heard that it's very good. I've heard it's quite expensive, but I'm curious to see what it's like. What about you?
I've had pasta from them. They're very good. But I've also had pasta made. I'm trying to remember the name of the place. It's on Via Pratello. Do you know it? It's a small little place that does pasta fresca.
Nice.
Pasta fresca Naldi, it's called. Now I'm remembering. I have to go back. And I thought it was just as good.
So it wasn't much better then.
I mean, they're both very good.
Yeah.
Fresh
Sonia says Istanbul is the meeting between East and West. Yeah, definitely. Okay, guys, what about some museums or things you would like to do, some countries? So maybe not talk about the city this time.
And remember to use the other verbs. So maybe the country I'd most like to explore.
Or to live in.
Or to live in, yeah.
Jess, I keep calling you Jess today. Jenna, what is the country you would most like to live in? Obviously, apart from Italy.
Ooh. Yeah, that's difficult. Maybe after Italy, Scotland.
Okay. Why?
Well, I'm half Scottish. I've lived in Scotland. I lived in Scotland for university, and I loved the city of Edinburgh. I loved the energy of the city, the fact that there was a lot to do and see culturally. The people I found really friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice. I've never been to Scotland, but I'm really curious.
Oh, and it's beautiful. Okay.
I'd like to go. You would recommend it?
I would.
Good. I don't know. Maybe the country I would most like to live in, apart from Italy, is Spain.
Yeah.
Again, I guess it's similar to Italian style, especially the south of Italy. I imagine it's a really beautiful country, very friendly people. So yeah, the food is very good.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so maybe for me, Spain. Okay. Maybe we should give them this question. So the country I would most like to live in is
Spain for you.
I'm trying to think of a negative one we can do. What about a museum? A museum that I'd least like to visit.
That could be one, yeah. For me, it would probably be like a car museum or something, or some kind of
motor museum.
Motor museum.
Yeah.
Andrea says the museum I'd most like to visit is the Guggenheim Museum in New York because I want to see the structure and the art collection.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a very famous museum. I think for me, the museum I'd least like to visit is similar to maybe a car museum or something about machinery, industry.
Yeah, I find that really boring.
Really important for history, but yeah, not so interesting for me.
Sonia says the restaurant where I'd most like to eat is Lebanese. Okay, a Lebanese restaurant.
Interesting. Very interesting choice.
I don't know much. Oh, go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, I don't know much about Lebanese food, how it differs from other cuisines.
Maybe, Sonia, if you want to explain, what is Lebanese cuisine like? Here I would just say we don't need the where. It's not necessary. The restaurant I'd most like to eat in is Lebanese. I don't think the where is incorrect, but we don't need it. It's extra. Okay, good.
Perfect.
Okay, shall we move on? Okay, good. If you guys want to continue telling us where you'd like to visit, that would be great. Okay. So here we have some museums.
Yes, so we're going to explain what the different museums are like, and you are going to tell us which museum you might be interested in on a trip to
London. Which you'd most like to see or least like to see.
Okay,
I'll you want to go? Okay.
Sure. National Gallery, the UK's biggest collection of art from 1250 to 1900.
Yeah, it's a long period. The Tate Modern, contemporary art from all over the world.
That was the museum I really liked. British Museum, a remarkable collection of world famous objects, free. Okay, so you don't have to pay to enter.
Really important, yeah. Natural History Museum, animals, dinosaurs, natural photography. If I'm correct, I think the Natural History Museum is also free. I'm sure I've been.
Yeah, that's one good thing about museums in the UK. A lot of times they're free. A lot of the time they're free.
Yeah, the big museums.
Science Museum, the Earth, space, technology, and hand-on activities. Hand-on activities are interactive activities. Yeah, you can use your hands to manipulate something.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, good for children.
Yeah, and adults enjoy them too.
Yeah, also adults.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, maybe children get bored easily. So
yeah.
Okay, guys. So can you tell us, out of these five choices, the museum I'd most or least like to visit? Okay.
Yeah, and remember to add why. Give us your reason why.
Sonia says, I love hummus. Okay, so hummus is Lebanese.
I love hummus too.
Really good. Making me hungry now.
Yeah.
Jenna, which is the museum out of these that you would most like to visit?
So I've already visited the Tate Modern. Maybe, and I've visited the National Gallery too, which was really interesting. Maybe the next one I'd like to visit is the Science Museum. Because I like these interactive museums. I find them quite fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I would like to visit the Science Museum. It's the one I'd most like to visit. Especially because it's all very modern technology, robots maybe.
Yeah.
What about the least? Which one would you least like to visit?
The least.
It's difficult to choose.
I hate to say it. Yeah, I hate to say it, but probably the British Museum.
Is there a reason?
Maybe the National Gallery, because I prefer modern art, even though it's good to recognize like impressionist or older artwork.
Yeah,
I find modern art a bit more interesting.
Nice.
So, yeah, let's say the Modern Gallery. I'd be the least interested in.
I think for me it would be the National History Museum, because I've already been. I've been a few times, so probably it's the one I'd least like to see. I'd most like to see the Louvre Museum. Among these, I think the Science Museum would be great.
Sonia says the museum I'd most like to see is the Tate Modern, because I like modern art. Good.
Excellent. Yeah, I think she agrees with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult to choose because, as we said before, London is so big. It's really difficult to see everything in one trip. It's definitely a place to visit again.
Yeah, get the chance. It's good.
Definitely. Okay, guys, shall we move on? If you guys want to continue responding, that would be great. Telling us which museum you would prefer. Let's have a look at some phrases for recommendation. Jenna, do you want to read for us?
Sure. Okay. So my city. The most famous landmarks in my city are: the best time to visit my city is, the best restaurants to eat in are, the most fun thing to do is, and the thing I'd most like to do but haven't done is. Okay, so for the last one, tell us about something or somewhere you have not visited, you have not experienced, but you think would be interesting to see or experience in your city?
Yeah. So here we're talking about your city, your hometown. In the meantime, Andrea, the museum I'd most like to visit is the Science Museum because I love technology. For the least is the Natural History Museum because I don't like to see dead animals. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Basically,
I understand.
what the Natural History Museum is. Yeah. Okay, shall we give some examples? Jenna, do you want to talk about your hometown?
Yeah, it's difficult actually for the first one because it's not a very historical city. Like it's not a very old city. Well, there's a lighthouse. Let's say that's maybe the most famous landmark on my island, the lighthouse.
Excellent. Yeah, I think for me also Leicester is not a very historical city. Well, it's not very famous. It's historical, but it doesn't have any famous places. Maybe the most famous landmark is the Space Museum. You have the National Space Center in Leicester.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So it's not really historical, but it's a famous place.
Yeah, nice. So Sonia says the most famous landmarks in my city are Upper City around the walls. Or the Upper City. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, so in these old cities, you can often walk around the walls, the old walls.
Yeah.
The most important museum in my city is Accademia Carrara. Excellent. What type of museum is it, Sonia? Is it art? Is it natural history?
What type of? Andrea says the most famous landmark in my city is Torre delle Asinelli. Yes.
We know, yes. The two towers.
I actually live quite close.
Yeah, you live really near.
Very central.
Really lucky. I'm trying to think of any more famous landmarks. In Leicester, maybe the cathedral. Because King Richard III is buried in the cathedral. Who was a famous British king. So people who are interested in history might go to the cathedral to see where he's buried.
Yeah, cool.
What about the best time to visit your city, Jenna? What's the best time?
I think, okay, I could tell you the worst time.
Okay.
The worst time to visit, it depends. It depends. If a hurricane is passing through, the worst time to visit is in August/September because there is a little chance of a hurricane passing and you don't want to get in the middle of a hurricane on your holiday.
Good advice.
Other than that, I think any time is the best time to visit my city. The weather is between 20 and 30 degrees all year long. So, yeah.
Okay, so just not August or September.
Not August or September, exactly.
Good. Ashley says the most famous landmarks in my city are Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, Piazza del Duomo, and Castello Sforzesco. Nice. Maybe, guys, do you want to tell us when is the best time to visit your city?
Yeah, so summer, spring.
Anytime not to visit.
As well.
Also, remember we can use these suggestions with ing. I recommend visiting. I suggest visiting. I don't recommend, or I don't suggest. Or we could use the modal verb. You should visit. You should see.
Exactly. Okay. Sonia says it is famous for a collection of paintings. Okay.
Interesting. Actually, the best time to visit my city is spring. Okay. Yeah, I would say I don't recommend visiting Milan or Bologna in August. In July or August because it's too hot.
Yeah, right.
Or Florence also.
Andrea says, for me, the best time to visit Bologna is in the spring because you can walk and there isn't, okay, good, and it isn't too cold, we'd say. It isn't too cold, yeah, good.
Yeah, so be careful with an adjective. We don't need much or many. We just need two. Too much for uncountable, too many for countable, but for an adjective, just two.
Yes.
Isn't too cold.
Okay, everyone, we want you to practice using the phrases on the right. Okay, so remember, if you have recommend or suggest, you have the gerund, the verb plus ing. After should or could, after modal verbs, you have the infinitive, the bare infinitive.
Yeah, maybe we should have a look at question number 3. They can give us some good recommendations. The best restaurants. So can you guys recommend or suggest the best restaurants to eat in your city?
Yeah.
What about in your city, Jenna? Which restaurants would you recommend?
Best. There is a Japanese restaurant that opened fairly recently that's quite good for sushi. It's not very Bahamian, but it is good for sushi. Other than that, I'm trying to think where. Oh, there's a like Latin Caribbean fusion restaurant called Agave. That's really good as well.
Nice. Good word, fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's a mixture of different things. Fusion. I think in my city, I definitely recommend going to an Indian restaurant. Because in Leicester, it's really multicultural and there are a lot of, there's a big population of Indian people. And they cook really, really delicious curries, delicious Indian sweets.
I love Indian food. Masha says the best restaurants okay, so you can say I suggest going to or eating at Burton and Pacifico. Sounds like it would be good. Just
when they have two names, it always has sounds good. So I don't really need to say the best and I suggest together. Suggest kind of means the best in my opinion, so we don't need to repeat the same thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything you don't recommend, Jenna?
Don't recommend doing or going or maybe I don't really recommend nothing really that I don't recommend doing on my island. I think you should do everything.
Everything's good.
Yeah. Maybe I don't recommend getting caught or going to an overpriced restaurant in a touristy area. I suggest asking a local where to eat.
Yeah, definitely. Local places are always more traditional, I think. Andrea, I suggest going to Nonna Rosa in Bologna. Nice.
Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. I've never been.
Nonna Rosa.
But after the quarantine is finished? No, I don't. I think it's in the Santa. I don't know. Andrea, if you can give us some directions.
So the best restaurant I suggest going to is Mariana in Upper City.
Nice. Again, here, maybe the best is not necessary. It's okay, but if I have suggest, I don't really need the best. Yeah.
Right.
I think in Leicester or in England in general, I don't recommend going to chain restaurants. So when you have a big chain of restaurants.
For example, well, it's not really a restaurant, but McDonald's. You know how you have McDonald's everywhere? That's a chain restaurant.
Yeah. So as Jenna was saying, it's better to go to the traditional ones.
I know it was a horrible example, but
no, it's good.
Everybody knows McDonald's.
Okay, guys. Unfortunately, we have run out of time for today. Thank you very much for joining us and telling us about your cities. Very quickly, Andrea, I suggest taking a pizza. Good, remember the
ing after suggest.
Okay, and Andrea tells us it's near Porto San Felice. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, guys, have a lovely evening. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Bye, guys.
Bye.